And here we are. And what we've got down here in the bottom right window, this is Streamlabs OBS. Now, when it comes to OBS, there are two different versions that are primarily talked about. This is Streamlabs, and then there's just plain vanilla OBS Studio. There are advantages and disadvantages to both of them. It is personal preference which one you want to use. Streamlabs OBS, which is what I have opened down here, is a bit more resource intensive. It can be, quite frankly, a bit bloated, in my opinion. The nice thing about Streamlabs OBS is that I use a lot of Streamlabs notifications from streamlabs.com. And if you want to integrate them easily, it's just like a button click on that. Whereas in regular OBS, which is what I am currently using, there's a little bit of finagling. All right. For the purposes of this stream, we're not going to be talking about alerts or anything like that. This is simply to make sure that your stream going out is the highest quality while using the least amount of resources. So if you have Streamlabs OBS or OBS Studio, go ahead and fire it up. And I'm going to switch screens here. Now, I want to make sure everyone can still hear me, right? And I'm going to turn off this music. Okay. So this is essentially, now I am not currently using Streamlabs OBS. I just have it open so I can show the screen. The layouts are customizable in both regular OBS and Streamlabs OBS. Outside of the looks and just the general ease of using the Streamlabs plugins, there ain't a lot of difference between the two of them, to be totally honest. I set up my filters, my settings, everything the exact same way. Now, if you're using Streamlabs OBS, down at the bottom here is where your settings are. If you're using regular OBS, there should be a button in your controls, which has your stop streaming, start recording, studio mode. Help me drag this over here. It's this window right here, and you're going to click on settings. Let me put that back where it belongs. There we go. So I'm going to drag my settings over here. And I don't know if you guys can see all of that. Well, that didn't help at all. Okay. All right. So you've got 7 tabs here on the left. General, stream, output, audio, video, hotkeys, and advanced. Some of these are important, some of them are not. All right. Now, as far as everything on general, don't even worry about all of that on regular OBS. Just skip that. That's all pretty much just your basic vanilla settings. On stream, now you'll see that this has basically what service you're streaming to, connecting your account. Again, for the purposes of this tutorial, not necessary. Now we get to output. This is where it starts getting interesting. So my output mode is advanced. That's what you want. You also want that on Streamlabs settings as well. Okay, and you'll notice they're very similar. Oops, where did my settings window go? Hold on. Need that back. Okay, so we're just going to have those two right there. Let me get that out from behind my face. All right. So set this to advanced, and the settings are going to be identical. Don't worry about your audio track. For your encoder, this is entirely dependent on your computer, and you need to know what your machine is, okay? If you have a dedicated graphics card, you want to use the hardware NVENC new encoder. If you do not have a dedicated graphics card, use software X24. That makes your processor do the encoding, all right? Where it says enforce streaming service encoder settings, no. Rate control should be CBR. Bit rate, this is dependent on you and what you're doing. The maximum bit rate you can set your stream for on Twitch is 6,000. If you do not have a great internet connection for your upload, or just, you know, you've got a crappy router or whatever, put it down to about 4,000. Don't go below 2,500 for any reason. Your stream quality will go all right. Then preset is quality down here. Profile is high. Look ahead and psycho visual tuning. I've had mixed results. It doesn't really make a lot of difference. There's a little bit of a performance bump. Whatever. Keyframe interval up here. I'm sorry, I missed that. That should be 0 for auto or 2. All right. And the rest should be default. We go into audio. Now, you'll notice that on both of these, I have all of my audio devices completely disabled. Lower bitrate does not mean lower CPU usage. Lower bitrate is the maximum amount of data you will send at one time. So if you set it lower, your stream is going to suffer because you're bottlenecking all of your data. Does that make sense? Like if your data is water and the amount of bitrate is like the size of the hose, you want a bigger hose, but only the size of the hose that you can control. Okay. For your audio, disable all of that. What will happen if you set your desktop audio device on this screen is that every scene, no matter what, will have the audio devices you set here. So if you have a scene that you don't want like your microphone on, sorry about your luck. If you have a scene you don't want your desktop audio on, sorry about your luck. Just disable these. We add them to every scene later. So the only thing you should be messing with on this screen is to disable if there's something already enabled. Video. This is a fun one. So your base canvas resolution, you'll see up here I've got mine set to 2560 by 1440. That is the resolution of your monitor. So that applies to you specifically. That is all that is there for. Do not worry about that number other than to know what your monitor's resolution is. Your output, on the other hand, now I've got this set to 720. I think that is reasonable for most streamers. What you're going to want to do is kind of take into account what your reach is and, again, what your bit rate is. All right. Excuse me. How do I put this? Okay. So with Streamlabs OBS, it was Streamlabs puts extra pressure on your CPU for whatever reason. And to stream in, I'm going to turn the music back on. This is driving me crazy. Sorry, guys. Whoops. Oh, God. No. Okay. There we go. All right. So, now go back to your home. Oops. So your output is whatever your viewers are going to see. What resolution they are viewing it in that is the max they will view it in. The lower you set it, the less bitrate you're going to use, the less work that your streaming software is going to do. That doesn't necessarily mean the lowest is what you want. Now with regular OBS, I have this set. It's grayed out because I'm currently streaming, so I can't change it, but I have this set to 1080p. All right. This is going to be totally up to you. Don't push it any higher than 1080p. Trust me when I say this, you will regret it. You'll end up with a lot of dropped frames. If you want to do 1080p, that's fine. But if you notice dropped frames, then drop it down to 720. I don't really think going below 720. If you have to go below 720, you need a better internet connection. Any difference between stereo versus mono for performance? Minimal. Very minimal.
I can smell you.
Hey, Lone Reaper. Thanks for that lurk. Now, for the downscale filter, this is pretty self-explanatory. There's 3 levels of filters that it can use to bring it down from 1440 to 720 or 1440 to 19 or to 1080, whatever. Bilinear is the fastest. It sucks. It looks horrible. Bicubic looks great, and it's in the middle level as far as, again, processor load. And the last one, Lanxos, I think I am. Oh, wow. 25 emotes shared because we got some gift subs coming in from Top Shelf. Thank you so much. You are the real MVP, sir. Yes, I even got 2 emotes. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that. Oh, it won't even let me scroll up in chat. Oh, it's because I've got this open right now. But thank you. Thank you so much. I love it. So pick bicubic there. That is the moral of the story. No matter what you're using, pick bicubic. Then for frames per second values, this one is up to you. It just depends on, again, the quality you're getting out and how much load it's putting on your computer. I put 60 because I have a beast of a computer. So I stream at 60 frames per second. If you are having a problem with that, go to 30. All right. And again, if you have to go below that, there's an issue there. And the same options exist on regular OBS. I just can't change them because I'm currently streaming. Then go down to advanced. And advanced is going to be here too. Okay. Your process priority, normal. You always want your process priority to be normal. Hey, lady gamer. Video, this is all the default settings. So NV12, 601, partial. Force your GPU as the render device. Check that. Absolutely check that. Okay. Audio. This is just where you want to, if you need to hear your stream and monitor your levels. Hey, Gideon. This is where you would set that. Now for me, I have it set to a virtual audio cable that I downloaded from the Voice Meter website. So it is a dedicated cable. Only my Streamlabs, or OBS in this case, audio goes to that, and I can mute it or let it go at will, and it just goes straight to my headphones. You guys can't hear it, but it's got all of my music, my microphone, everything there. Okay. And then everything down here should pretty much be, it's just kind of like, honestly, it's up to you. Now with the Streamlabs OBS settings, all of that is pretty much the same. Yeah, there's not really anything to change there. The big thing is process priority normal. They don't give you the option, I don't think, to force the GPU, but that's what you want. And then I do believe that is it for Streamlabs settings. Now, let me just cancel out of that. Done out of here. So again, you want to, the big thing is your video. That's what's taking up the most of your processor power in your graphics card power. You want to direct it to the graphics card as much as possible. And again, let me just really stress this. In your video settings, base canvas resolution is the resolution of your monitor. Output is the resolution of your stream. Bicubic is the best downscale filter. FPS, 60 if you can handle it. 30 otherwise. All right. Output, make sure you're on that hardware NVENC new if you have a dedicated graphics card. Otherwise, software, X264. Rate control is CBR. Bit rate, somewhere between 2500 and 6000 is the max. A good median's 4000, it's right in the middle. Preset is quality, profile is high. That is basically it. Now, one thing I forgot to mention, I'm going to get out of here. And I am going to have a glitch on my screen is what I'm going to have to do. Okay. There we are. You are here. Streamlabs. Find it. Where are you? There we go. So you want to find your Streamlabs OBS software or your OBS Studio. I apologize, you are correct. NVENC is only for NVIDIA card users. You are correct. You want to find your OBS software. You want to go to Properties. Go to, oh, what the heck? That's an application. Go to Properties. There we go. Go to Compatibility. Down here. Disable full screen optimizations. Run this program as an administrator. I cannot tell you how many problems are solved by running this stuff as an administrator. And I've Googled several problems, and all of them start with, have you tried running it as an administrator? And it's just the way that it prioritizes the application. All right. And